Have you ever heard the tale of the woman whose beauty was so dangerous, it brought an entire village to its knees? She caused men to vanish, women to weep, fires to consume the land. And when it was over, she disappeared without a single trace. This isn't just a tale. It's a chilling reminder of what happens when desire blinds wisdom. Before we dive in, I know many of you are watching from all corners of the world, brought together by a shared love for African stories. Drop a comment below and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'll be in the comments connecting with you. And if you're enjoying this kind of storytelling, a like and a subscription would truly mean a lot. Alright, let's get into it. Once upon a time in a distant African land, beyond the eastern shores, surrounded by forests thick with whispers and rivers that shimmered like mirrors, there sat a quiet fishing village known as Mwamanzi. It was a place untouched by chaos. A place where the sun rose gently and the children played beneath mango trees. But everything changed the morning she arrived. No one saw her enter. No footsteps. No carriage. No sound. She was simply there, standing in the middle of the village. Her name was Zuwena. And she was beautiful. Unnaturally so. Her skin shimmered like golden clay in sunlight. Her eyes sparkled with something not of this world. Her waist, narrow as a flute, and her hips curved like a path carved by the gods. Even her silence drew breath from lungs. The women whispered, unsure of what they were seeing. The elders peered from their windows. But the men? The men were helpless. They dropped everything. They dropped their focus, their senses, and their dignity. Married men forgot their wives. Young men fought over who would carry her basket. The chief himself sent her jars of honey, bags of salt, and an entire goat. And she accepted it all. Anything Zuwena wanted, she got. Even the women gave her cloth, bracelets, and food, hoping to gain her favor. But it was the men she used. And she used them well. At first, it seemed harmless. Then the men began to change even more. First, they stopped talking. Then, they stopped working. Then, they forgot who they were. They would stare into space for hours, lips moving but no sound coming out. Their skin went pale. Their eyes sank. And then, they disappeared. One by one. No screams. No footprints. Just gone. The first was Dalu, a young farmer. That morning he had whispered to his brother, "Something's wrong. I saw blood near the river. It's not animal blood." He never came home. Then Bakari, the village drummer. Then Tumbo, the oldest fisherman. Then Juma. Then Omari. 12 men. Gone. In 2 weeks. The village grew silent. The laughter vanished. The fear crept in. But Zuwena? She just kept smiling. She never mourned. Never asked. Never cared. And still, the men came. Giving her land. Livestock. Even sacred heirlooms passed down for generations. In return, she gave them only a glance. A smile. A haunting stare that reached into their bones. But not everyone was fooled. One man stayed back. Watching. Listening. He was Baraka, the hunter. He lived at the forest's edge, close to the river, where the birds didn't sing and the frogs croaked warnings only a few could understand. He never spoke to Zuwena. Never met her eyes. But every night, he watched the trees. And every night, something strange happened. One night, under the full moon, Baraka saw a shadow by the river. A shape, tall, elegant, and glowing. He followed quietly. She moved with grace but left no footprints. He watched from the bushes. She walked into the river, then vanished. And from beneath the water, something else rose. Half human. Half creature. Hair like tangled seaweed. Arms long and scaled. Eyes white as bone. Baraka didn't sleep that night. At dawn, he returned to the river. Near the water, a path hidden by vines led him to a cave, a place no one in the village dared to speak of. He entered. The air was thick, rotten. Then he saw it. Bones. Hundreds of them. Neatly stacked. Arranged, and clean. Some still wore clothes. Some clutched charms. All were men. He ran. Straight to the chief's hut, bursting in like thunder. "She's not a woman. She's a spirit. A demon. She is killing them. The chief blinked slowly. Zuwena? The one with the body of the moon? The one who makes even elders dream again? You are jealous, Baraka, just like the rest of them. Baraka left without another word. Because even the chief had fallen. That night, Baraka sharpened his weapons. He bathed in bitter herbs. He carved ancient signs into his spear. Then he went back to the cave. But not to search. To wait. Midnight. The river shimmered. And she came. Zuwena. But no longer human. Her legs twisted into a tail of silver scales. Her mouth stretched wider than it should. Her eyes glowed. And surrounding her, souls. Men. The ones who vanished. Their faces floated around her, mouths open in silent screams, trapped in her grasp. She was feeding. Baraka raised his spear. But she turned. She saw him. And she smiled. Then vanished. The next day, Baraka gathered the villagers. He pleaded. He pointed. He showed them the cave. But the bones were gone. The cave was clean. The villagers looked at him with fear. With doubt. Some spat. But a few believed. That night, Baraka didn't sleep. He hid near the river. And again, she came. This time, she was more beautiful than ever. Naked. Singing. Her body glistening under the moonlight. But Baraka saw them behind her. The missing men. Walking like puppets. Hollow. Lifeless. They followed her into the river. One by one. Baraka stayed until dawn. Then he tried again. She is controlling them. Taking their spirits. She is not one of us. An old priest muttered, then why do I dream of her every night? Baraka had one choice left. A trap. He dug a pit near the river. Filled it with spikes. Coated it with sacred oil. Lined it with herbs. Covered it with leaves. He waited. Midnight came. So did she. Zuwena walked toward the trap. And stepped into it. She screamed, not in pain, but in fury. Baraka attacked. She laughed. The ground shook. She began to sing. A song that chilled the stars. Baraka stumbled. His mind went blank. The world swirled. But he jammed wax into his ears. Forced himself forward. She lunged. They fought. Her claws sliced his chest. His spear drove into her side. She hissed. Then slipped into the water. The river boiled. Turned black. Then calmed. When the village woke up the next morning, Zuwena was gone. And so was Baraka. No body. No blood. No footprints. To this day, no one has ever seen or heard of the wise hunter again. No one knows where he went. Some say she dragged him to the bottom of the river. Others say he still walks in another world, watching over those foolish enough to follow beauty blindly. And Zuwena? No one speaks her name. But sometimes, just sometimes, when the moon is full and the river glows silver, you can hear her song. Soft, sweet, calling. And if you're not careful, you might follow it. Some say this is just a story, a folktale. But tell me, if it is only a story, why do some villages still refuse to fish near Mwamanzi? Why do elders stop you when you whistle near rivers at night? Why do men go missing every few years and are never seen again? Be wise. If you ever meet someone too beautiful to be true, walk away. Or the next face floating in the river might be yours. If this tale gripped your spirit and chilled your bones, don't just leave. Like, share, and subscribe. Because in Africa, our stories are not just for listening. They are warnings. Until next time, stay alive.